We went from friends to something more, but now I need to get tested.
Please don't fail.
I, female 25, have been friends with male 25 for 10 years. I will be calling him N. Ever since freshman year. We had a couple classes together, so it wasn't hard making Nigel a friend. He was funny, smart, very sarcastic, even though he was very quiet and shy in school. I like to believe he was himself around me. Now, maybe he grew a crush on me as well, as I did for him, but even though I am sure it took some big guts to ask me out one day after school, I didn't reject him because I didn't think he was cute or attractive. He is an amazing guy. But I respected the amazing friendship we had made, that I was being selfish on my end because I didn't want to lose it. I, of course, told him these things and how I felt about losing his friendship if something didn't work out between us, if we were to be in a relationship. He, of course, took some time and distance towards me, which I respected. Second semester comes, and things are kind of back to normal. We never spoke about it again after that, which didn't seem to bother any of us. Our friendship was still cool. In between the years of high school, we both had our boyfriends/girlfriends and would even share some of our relationships to each other.
Gotta be clear.
Even more closer after graduation because we were older and had accepted the good friendship we had. I was there when we have parties with family and our friends. His parents seemed to like me a lot too, and they would ask him to invite me to more family events. Maybe the parents are trying to get them together.
Ooh.
Our friendship was genuine. Moving forward to 2021, he ended up moving out of state because of his work. We, of course, would still stay in contact and always would make time to get together and hang out when he was in town for holidays or family events. During that time, I was in a very serious relationship with my ex, who I started dating in 2016. I moved in with him in 2018 until 2021.
Wow.
When I ended my relationship with him, for context, Nigel at the time had no idea I ended my relationship and why. If I told him right then and there, then I know it would have been a problem. Why would it have been a problem? The reason being is because I ended my relationship over domestic violence issues, where I ended up putting my ex in jail.
Wow.
So I kept it a secret until a couple months later after he had moved away. He even came into town to check on me and see how I was doing, so I updated him with everything that had happened. Our friendship stayed, same updates here and there, until I decided to join the gym. Nigel is a major gym rat, so he's buff too.
Ooh.
When our friendship slowly started evolving into something else. Towards the end of December, so starting January of this year, we kind of acted different, especially towards me. I'm a shy person when it comes to liking someone, so it was obvious I had grown some feelings towards him. I am certain he sensed it too. In February, Nigel took a big step, confessing himself, since he asked me to be his Valentine, even when he was out of state. He made sure his presence was there by sending me a lovely bouquet. So you guessed it, we started talking romantically. Let's go. You can say I've been over the moon with him. This man has been trying. The true definition of if he really wanted to, he would. Because I can feel that he does want me.
Oh, God.
Everything was good until recently, a couple months back, he sort of started showing somewhat yellow to reddish flags. I'm not sure if he started getting insecure since he was away a lot because of his job and was maybe only able to come down 2 to 3 times in the course of 6 months, which to me, I didn't mind waiting to see him. I enjoyed our time together and apart as well. Plus, it was only going to be temporary. I liked this guy, even as close to loving him.
Whoa.
How he was with me, how he treated me, and him in general as a person. I've known him for years and have been an amazing friend, if not my best friend. I fully trusted him until now.
No.
Beginning of September, he went into, let's call it internship, where he didn't have contact with the outside of the world for training for part of it.
Oh.
This lasted almost 4 weeks. I, of course, was still sending him messages here and there to update him, even when he was away. As soon as this man was able to get a hold of me, more like his phone, he bombed me with questions after questions. Some were goofy, almost like joking to get a giggle, since we haven't been talking, and some were pretty serious. And those questions, he put a lot of what ifs, like, what if he cheats? Or vice versa. He went as far as to randomly ask me how many guys I've been with. I was caught by surprise because I've always been honest, and we have talked about us not really getting into detail about our past, mostly because I strongly believe it doesn't matter. Knowing how extremely jealous he can be, I double asked if he was sure he wanted to go that route. He said yes, and so I told him. To tell you he was upset would be an understatement. This man was probably foaming at the mouth. Nigel was going bonkers because I mentioned that not all guys treated me like crap and admitted I had 2 men that treated me nice and even brought my standards higher in a good way. This man was not taking it well, claiming I was glorifying these men that I had been with. This turned into an argument that left a sour taste in my mouth about how immature he was, acting about something he wanted to know so bad, also demanding I should be saying F every man but him, and also put a what if situation that if I were ever to speak to him again, I would be disrespecting him, even if it was a short high from running into each other at the grocery store. Again, all his stupid scenarios in his head. Now, for what felt like forever, the next 2 business days seemed to be calmer until there was I need to tell you something. I was at work, and when I got it, I had 20 minutes before my break. Let's just say this man did not wait for me to even reply back, and he just straight up blurted it out. This man confessed to me about him having, what do I say?
Spicy bumps.
Love bumps.
Love bumps.
Backstory. Last time he came into town was for the 4th of July weekend. Yes, you can guess it. We had spicy sleep for the first time too. So here I am 2 months later getting told by this MFer knowingly knew he had the love bumps and still never said anything to me about it. He went as far as not wearing protection at first, but then I pressed him about wearing one, so he did.
Dude.
But still, he took that choice from me. He also dropped this info while not being present face-to-face of this conversation.
Yeah.
This is serious crap. He knows how serious and precautious I am about these things because we've had multiple conversations about this. He had multiple chances to openly tell me about it because I would ask about it. I also even went as far as to go get checked before going into something with him for the safety of both of us. We had both came back clean, but no, he kept this detail from me. The excuse being I should have said something sooner, but I was afraid of this outcome and kept pushing it back.
No.
He also claimed he was planning on telling me back in July weekend, but forgot about it. How the F do you forget to mention you have frickin' log lumps to the person you claim to care about? Exactly, you don't. I feel betrayed from my best friend and from my partner. Not only that this man was being so ignorant about my whole situation, never once was he worried about my health or offered to check myself because, like he called it, you should be good because it's not active and I haven't infected anyone or had an outbreak since 2023. Also went as far as to say it's not a big deal. It's not like it's HIV or how, well, 80% of the population have it. They probably just don't know. Like if I was going to be okay joining the 80% club, like it's an effing sorority club. Also, not educating me about it. I mentioned to him 3 times until he sort of blurred some fun facts, acting like this is Blue's Clues. He really had me there asking for myself instead of him telling me about it from the start. And before you guys asked me if he got it maybe when he moved out of state or cheated, and that's how he got it, or maybe didn't know until recently, nope, this man got it since 2017 when his girlfriend then was cheating, sleeping around with several guys, including him. And this time I thought we were close, but he had this secret of him, which, okay, I can understand to wanting to keep it from a friend, but I think it's okay to not tell me about it when I became a lover and someone they just had spicy sleep with is insane and taking the choice for me. If I wanted to not have spicy sleep with him, or at least more safe spicy sleep, knowing all the risks that can happen, no, instead he chose for me. How can I ever trust him again or anything he says? Oh, I know I will never ever again. Nigel has been feeling bad about the whole situation, but so have I. It took me 3 weeks to process it fully. My sleeping schedule was ruined because of all the thinking. Not only that, but I also lost my appetite. He has been love bombing me nonstop, flowers, letters, cute messages, etc., while I've been leaving him on red pretty much to talk to himself. I don't care.
That's right.
Well, I'm sure he was worried about where we stood. So these past 2 weekends, he has surprise visited me and his family because his family is giving them 4-day weekends, which I don't believe. But yet again, I don't believe crap he says anymore. The famous surprise visit he claims was him showing up at my front door with more flowers and an iced coffee at 7 a.m. on a school day for me to go to college. I accepted them for courtesy for my mother since she's the one that let him in. So here I am standing in the living room with the person that literally mentally and emotionally effed my head up.
Oh no.
And no one really knows about it.
Oh.
I walked him outside and told him there was no need for any of this and to stop love bombing me and to not show up again or I will kick him out next time. He was a begging for a chance to hear him out in person, and I said, fine, I'll text you info on where to meet.
The police station?
Yeah.
I would love
That's
to
where I
meet
report
him
this,
there.
man.
Yeah.
I let the weekend pass by until Sunday. I sent him a message of time and place, and before I headed out, I had shared my location to a few of my friends, and one specific one had instructions that if I didn't text back after 12 to call the police. I also took out my spicy pew-pew.
Spicy.
So I showed up maybe 15 minutes earlier to check my surroundings for more context. It was our town's closest lake, so I asked him to meet me at the deck. To tell you I thought this through, you bet I did. This man does not know how to swim. OP. So if it came down to self-defense or anything like that, I'd have maybe an 80% chance to get out of it alive. It's scary being a girl in this world and having to think these things, but I am done being naive. Then meet at a coffee shop. Nigel showed up, so we started talking mostly because I kept pushing it to cut the BS and get straight to the point of it all. This man did not say anything that would have made me change my mind, so I told him I wasn't going to sit here and waste my effing time any longer. To crap, I've already heard from him. He was still very confused on what was going on and what was going to happen next with us. Like there was an us anymore. Regardless, I let him down gently, sparing you guys all the extra details. I told him, even though I wasn't certain about how I will get past this, I had no intentions on continuing anything with someone that I cannot trust, and I simply don't see them the same, since I am very disappointed that not once did he really think about how this would affect me or what it would do to me.
Amen,
Instead,
brother.
not only neglected being honest with me from the start, but also even after he told me he was absolutely ignorant about it. I know he needs a dose of reality, a cold hard dose of reality. I know I asked the question, but now that I got to write most of it down, I will absolutely be okay being the a-hole in the story, because I will be cutting ties with Nigel. But you should never cut ties with us by joining our live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST right here on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Just tap our profile.
Oh, yeah.
People deserve honesty when it comes to something that can potentially cause you harm health-wise, and the fact that he doesn't see it that way is not my problem. I told him about how I hope the next girl he tries to talk to, he mentions it before spicy sleep, at least on the third date, since I wasn't the only one he told after he had spicy sleep with them. He told his previous ex before me a year into the relationship, and she allegedly didn't think it was a big deal, so he also expected me to react the same. Heck no, this man is delusional, and in conclusion, F this man, but not really, because you shouldn't. And that is where that story ends.
I, 30 female, live with my sister, 35 female, and brother-in-law, 33 male. They have an infant, don't want to specify age, and all has been okay. My sister works the days, he works nights, not overnights, and I watch the baby throughout the week when I get home from work until my sister gets home. The issue is there has been multiple days where I suspected he is sleeping through the day and not tending to the baby. One day I came home and her onesie was on the ground. I picked it up and it was soaking wet with milk. The other day I came home and the bed was soaked with milk. It all boiled over when he wasn't waking up for work one day, and I found her lying in her crib, bottle in her mouth, propped on a blanket to hold it in place while he's sleeping. Very alarming, right? My sister talked to him and it was supposed to be solved, but today before work, she was crying and he didn't wake up. So I go into the baby's room and she was in her bassinet and she had squirmed out of her swaddle and blankets were almost all of the way over her face. I called my sister and she had to leave work and she brought the baby over to my dad's, but it was a whole big deal. My brother-in-law then accused me of trying to take his daughter away from him and saying he's a good dad. No one said otherwise, and how she won't be going to my dad's, grandpa's, every day, and how I just don't like him. That's not even the case. He was putting ego and pride ahead of his daughter. That doesn't sit right with me. I get being tired, but when you know sleeping is an issue, why not even attempt to set things up to assist you? No alarm set. No speaking up to say he's tired so I can watch her while he catches up on sleep. Nothing. To leave a baby lying down with a bottle in her mouth is unfathomable. When someone's choking, they can't scream. He would never hear her. He doesn't know when she cries. And I assume it was most of the day. How could you think that's okay? I always try my best to mind my business and not say a peep and let them be parents, but the bottle incident could have killed her. He was being manipulative, trying to turn my sister against me and make me the bad guy. She wouldn't turn against me though. I now feel very unsafe and scared. I don't know what to do, and my sister is in the same boat. I've barely been able to eat, sleep, and my anxiety is through the roof. All I wanted to do was was ensure she is safe and has someone there to be attentive. You can't just plop a baby in a dark room while you sleep all day and expect it to be okay. She needs connection, attention, someone who can actively pay attention to her for development and well-being. If you can't take care of yourself, how can you take care of a baby? I don't know. I just need advice on what to do and any legal things I can suggest to my sister to set in place just in case this gets ugly. I want my sister and the baby to be protected. Sorry if some of this is jumbled up. I'm just so anxious. Thank you for any help you can give. Additional info, I can't move out at the moment. I'm going into my last year of grad school and I have pets, so I can't move on campus. And with my schedule, I cannot afford to do my courses, field, and work full-time for rent. Brother-in-law is in recovery. He has relapsed in the past. He works hybrid and was falling asleep at work when working from home. And it was scary as he wasn't waking up. And I asked if he was nodding off, since that's what it looked like, and it caused a whole big issue. I do have trust issues with him due to stuff regarding this in the past, but I have never spoke on it or tried to use it against him. He does have sleep issues that I know of, but I don't know him that well. My sister and him have been married under a year.
Well, there's definitely some issues that are physical issues.
I'm wondering if he actually needs to go and get a sleep study done and talk to a doctor about this. I mean, he could be dealing with narcolepsy. He could be dealing with some sort of sleep disorder.
Again, you went right down my road.
Sleep apnea even, where he's just not getting good quality restful sleep. And so he's tired nonstop.
I don't think the guy wants to fall asleep on his child. I don't think he has the ability of controlling that at this point in time. And so since everyone's recognizing this issue, look, if I was driving down the street and I was falling asleep driving on the road and you heard me I was falling asleep.
We would take your license and evaluate why you're falling asleep.
I think you would say, Dad, I think there's an issue. Would you mind getting this checked?